Okay, episode 1 of Cooking with Dad. Like I explained in my little intro video, this is really not to be on YouTube and make $1 million, although that would be okay. This is primarily just the meals that I cooked when my kids were still in the house that my daughters are asking me to make. So let's get started. This one is Dad's green chili chicken enchilada casserole. I grew up in New Mexico. I love green chili. We made a lot of casseroles when the kids were little because they were easy. We could throw them in the oven, feed the whole family. It seemed like there was always a friend over. So let's get started. All right, folks, here's the ingredients. I'll have it down in the description below. But this is very, very basic stuff. We'll start out with some shredded chicken, 2 to 3 chicken breasts. I boiled those the night before and shred them up. You're going to need the cooking spray. You can do a 13 by 9 or an 8 by 8 pan. And then we got corn tortillas. You can see I wasn't joking when I said value. We're using Great Value brand. Cheddar cheese, 1 raw onion, got some garlic salt, got some ground cumin, some generic Rotel, some generic green chili, some generic green chili sauce, some generic cream of chicken, and I like this Campbell's Fiesta Nacho cheese sauce. Those are the basic ingredients we'll be using. Again, we'll list them in the description down below, and let's get cooking. Okay, episode 1 of Cooking with Dad. Like I explained in my little intro video, this is really not to be on YouTube and make $1 million, although that would be okay. This is primarily just the meals that I cooked when my kids were still in the house that my daughters are asking me to make. So let's get started. This one is Dad's green chili chicken enchilada casserole. I grew up in New Mexico. I love green chili. We made a lot of casseroles when the kids were little because they were easy. We could throw them in the oven, feed the whole family. It seemed like there was always a friend over. So let's get started. So I'd like to take this moment to thank my adorable wife for being my camera operator. She wasn't really sure about it. She's upset that our kitchen sink isn't as clean as could be, but I know the reality is probably the only ones watching this video will be my kids. So we're starting out with Campbell's Fiesta Nacho Cheese Soup Mix. This has got a little bit of spice and a little bit of cheese flavor. Into the bowl we go. See, I said this was easy. Then we got, because we're cheap, Great Value cream of chicken soup. They also make one with less sodium. I think that's what this one is. Into the bowl we go. And, like we had in the ingredient list, fake or generic Great Value Rotel. 1 can. Don't worry about draining it off. It's going to cook out. Green chili we're going to save until we're about done because some people don't like hot. But this is Great Value diced green chilies. The next one up is the Los Palmos brand, but you can use any green chili enchilada sauce. That's different than just green chilies. You want enchilada sauce. For this, we're going to put a few dabs in the bottom of this dish, and then we're going to put about half the can in the mix, and then we're going to save the other half or so of the can to put on the top. So that's about half the can. We'll save that. I also put in a little garlic salt. Our family likes garlic salt. And I put in a few dashes of ground cumin. And we're just going to mix this up in a bowl. Okay, so here's all the ingredients we talked about. You just give them a good stir, get them well combined. It'll take you a minute. You want to stir it so that those onion pieces get separated out a little bit and you get all the different soup and the Rotel blended, you know, just till it looks like you're used to seeing it. All right. Now, this isn't necessary, but this is one of the things that I do is I take a few drops of this enchilada sauce, and I put it on the bottom. And the reason for that is I don't want it to burn. And I don't want crispy enchiladas on the bottom. I'm using Great Value corn tortillas. On the bottom, if I'm using a 13x9 pan, I'm going to do 6. And that's because I'm going to kind of push them up a little bit into the corners for the first batch. Subsequent layers, we generally make with just 4. So there you go, first layer. Then it's just like making lasagna almost. Get your dollop. Just kind of push it in there. It doesn't have to be completely level, because we're going to make a few levels of this and it all works out. Now, depending on how much cheese you like, you can put your grated cheddar cheese on now, but we're definitely going to put some on the very top, but that doesn't go in until you're about done. Alright, now I have some shredded cheddar left over from the other day that I'm going to go ahead and dump in here. And then when it's time to do the top, we'll grate our own cheddar. So cheddar in a cube is actually the cheapest leftover from a party. Normally I shred my own cheddar, but I'm just going to dump on some cheese. It's enchiladas, you know, so you can't have too much cheese. And again, it's kind of like making a lasagna. You just spread it out. Now, I've got 4 more I'm putting down. Then I'm going to use the last of the mix on this batch. It's always good in your pan, in the oven, to have some foil down on the bottom in case this bubbles over. You don't want a huge mess, because then Mom will be mad that the stove is a mess. Okay, got it kind of smoothed out there. Then this being the top layer, I'm going to do 6. And then the last of the cheese of the enchilada sauce will go on. Don't worry if it's not completely covered, because generally the juices will fluff up. And then at the end anyway, we're going to put cheese over the top. So I'm going to cover this. I'm going to spray the foil with a little nonstick spray so that none of this sticks to my foil when I take the lid off. So this goes in the oven now. It will take about an hour, and it's going to be at 375 degrees. When it's ready, we'll pull it out, we'll put the cheese on it, and it'll be ready to eat. Hey, you're still watching my video. That's awesome. I really appreciate it. If you don't mind, take just a second, hit that like and subscribe for me. If you want notifications of when I put out more videos, there's a little bell sign you can hit. It'll send you a little message. Thanks for watching, guys. Let's get back to your video. Okay, food's about ready to come out of the oven. Gonna add some cheese, and then I just leave it in the oven on coast until I make the rest of my stuff. Let me show you what it looks like. Okay, here's what we got so far. Now we're gonna cover it with some cheese. All right, here's a little cheese. We have the granddaughter over. She's gonna have her first chicken enchilada casserole. You can put more cheese if you want, less, whatever works. Now I'm just gonna set it back in the oven. The oven's turned off. And that cheese will melt while I make my rice to go with it. Here it is, Dad's green chili chicken enchilada casserole. all ready to go. I put a little green chili on your right-hand side. My wife says it's too hot, but it's so mild anybody could eat it. Also, if this is a recipe you'd rather have in beef, you can substitute the chicken and the green chili sauce for 2 pounds of ground beef and red enchilada sauce. Anyway, we fixed to eat. Hope you like it.